I had a theory for Khamzat Chimaev's last fight against Robert Whittaker, and I posted it on TikTok. I think I might have posted it on here too, where I said Khamzat Chimaev switch up in camps, Khamzat Chimaev's focus on recovery and rest and proper dieting, getting rid of some of the health scares he had, proper conditioning, proper training, no more overtraining. I said going into the Robert Whittaker fight, he will have much improved cardio. And we never got the answer to that theory. We never got the answer to those questions. And I actually think that unknown quantity of Khamzat Chimaev is going to help him against Dricus Du Plessis, one of the most unpredictable fighters on the roster. We don't know how Dricus Du Plessis is going to fight on the night. We know he's going to come in with a ton of output. We know he might even try and take down Khamzat. We know he's going to throw heavy, loaded up combinations that are just so hard to see coming because he's very fast. We know Dricus Du Plessis is unpredictable on fight night, but I actually think it's hard to say how Khamzat Chimaev is going to look on fight night too, and I think that's something people massively overlook. This is just a theory. I have seen every MMA content creator, Lucas Tracy, talk about Khamzat Chimaev's demeanour going in there against Robert Whittaker. It was calmer. It wasn't, I smash everybody, kill everybody. And he thinks that maybe Khamzat Chimaev needs to be more aggressive, more hyped up going in there against Dricus Du Plessis and really chase the first round finish. But I actually don't think, despite the calm demeanour, despite the switch up in camps, I actually don't think Khamzat Chimaev was that different in the first round with Robert Whittaker compared to how he usually is. He's not running around the octagon screaming. He was a lot calmer. He talked about having, I think it was a new son or just a newborn, and he wants to be calmer and a better example for him. But his fighting style hasn't really changed that much. So I don't think his demeanour is what matters in this fight. I think it's his training. I think it's his health. I think it's his recovery. Because most people who pick Dricus to win this fight even admit themselves they're picking him based on the fact that Dricus will probably meet Khamzat Chimaev in the middle of the octagon in the first round, maybe accept a takedown, but maybe work into full guard instead of allowing Khamzat Chimaev to wrist ride up against the fence or get a Dagestani handcuff and work the positions he's best known for. You saw a guy like Gilbert Burns, who, when Khamzat Chimaev took him down, Burns didn't accept these positions. He didn't let his back get posted up against the fence. He instead worked into more traditional jiu-jitsu positions, and Khamzat Chimaev got very uncomfortable there. So Dricus Du Plessis is very strong in these positions. Can he attack with submissions off his back? Can he be aggressive and force Khamzat Chimaev to expend energy? Can he work the body on the feet? On the feet, it's a different story. We all know this. If Dricus does not fear the takedown of Khamzat, if Khamzat starts fading, then Dricus will stop him. It won't go the distance. If Khamzat Chimaev's done at the end of round 2, round 3 will be hell on earth for him. You cannot fade against Dricus because once he senses it, he goes in for the kill better than anybody else. Dricus Du Plessis, so underrated. But my theory comes into play here. I think Khamzat Chimaev will take Dricus Du Plessis down early in the first. Dricus will try and not accept positions from Khamzat. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. He'll try stop the wrist rides, the Dagestani handcuffs. He'll try stop the back takes up against the fence. He'll try keep his back pressed off the fence when he's being taken down, and he'll look to use full guard. Look to maybe use any kind of guard he can use where he's more comfortable to build back to his feet and aggressively put output on Khamzat Chimaev. And I do think Dricus, out of everybody, will meet Khamzat Chimaev in the right way. Not timid, not afraid, not scared of the takedown. He'll meet Khamzat Chimaev in the middle of the octagon, and if he gets taken down, well, I've got time. I've got 5 rounds where I can work back into the fight. And I think Dricus Du Plessis won't get stressed out from this. But where my theory comes into play, I think at the start of the second round, what's going to shock people is that Khamzat Chimaev will be absolutely fine. He'll be still fresh. And I think this is going to massively throw Dricus Du Plessis' entire fight out the window. And this is just a theory, because as far as we know, whenever someone's showed Khamzat Chimaev resistance, whenever he's forced to overcommit with volume and he's attacking submissions and he's attacking the back and he's attacking with ground and pound, and then in the second round he fades, and then in the third round he's almost done, like against Usman or like against Gilbert Burns. We all know about the weight cutting issues. We all know about the health issues that Khamzat Chimaev believes affects his performance going in there against these fighters. But I think those issues are gone. And I think the switch up in camps is something people are glossing over and people are ignoring because of how Khamzat Chimaev beat Robert Whittaker. If you go look at how he beat Robert Whittaker, it was a first round finish. It was easy, it was simple, and it was amazing. Khamzat Chimaev in the first round is still amazing. But the theory I have in today's video is that what if Khamzat Chimaev comes out for that second round fresh as he left the first? I think that would throw Dricus Du Plessis' entire game plan out the window, because now you're dealing with a different animal. He's not just a bully anymore. I see Khamzat Chimaev kind of like probably saw Mike Tyson. Very, very dangerous early. So dangerous early, but if you can drag him into the mid-rounds, you have a good chin, you're throwing shots back at him, almost the bully becomes bullied. We've seen that with Khamzat Chimaev, and he did scrape by against Kamaru Usman. He did scrape by still against Gilbert Burns. He did massively fade in those fights, but you know what? He got through them. He got through them. Dricus Du Plessis is a different animal though, if he does fade. And I understand why people pick Dricus, because going off what we know, this fight should go. Khamzat Chimaev controls the first, Dricus pulls the tide back in the second, and then maybe in the third, or maybe the fourth, Dricus gets a finish because Khamzat Chimaev just can't keep up with the volume, can't keep up with the pace. And to be fair, Dricus is a very, very big fighter. He's very big, very heavy, very athletic. It's not that Dricus can't be taken down. We've seen him get taken down by guys like Robert Whittaker. We've seen him get taken down by guys like Derek Brunson. We've seen him give away and make massive mistakes. Who was that throw he tried on? Who was the throw he tried on? I can't seem to remember. I'll get it up on the screen here. But he tried to throw on somebody and he ended up just landing backwards. So he does make mistakes and he can be clumsy with some of his entries on the grappling department. He can fall over and get an ankle pick on Israel Adesanya. But if he falls over, overextending on a shot against Khamzat Chimaev, he might fall into a darce. He might fall into something very, very dangerous. So Dricus Du Plessis in this fight, probably more so than ever, is going to have to be massively, massively switched on going into this matchup. Now, don't get me wrong, I still believe that Khamzat Chimaev has this destroyer mindset. Don't think Khamzat Chimaev fights just looking for the first round finish and he doesn't have any plan after that. I don't think that's what Khamzat Chimaev does, which I think is what people get wrong. People think that Khamzat Chimaev goes in there, he either gets you in the first round or otherwise it's a competitive fight. That's not what Khamzat Chimaev aims to do. I think the health scares, I think the health issues, the injuries, the inactivity has affected his career big time. And I think people massively gloss over that because he goes in and destroys Robert Whittaker and it kind of proves your point. Yeah, he looked excellent against Robert Whittaker. He got Robert Whittaker out there in the first round, but that's nothing to what we haven't seen before. It was excellent. Getting Robert Whittaker out of there in the first round is excellent. That's not an easy feat to do. Just easily out-grappling Robert Whittaker like he's absolutely nothing, making him look like he's absolutely nothing. It's not an easy feat to do, but it kind of proves to everyone's point. Well, yeah, he got another first round finish, but you know, Dricus isn't going to get out of there in the first. I honestly don't believe Khamzat finishes Dricus in one round. And I could be wrong here because Khamzat Chimaev's so strong in the first and Dricus can make mistakes when he's trying to settle into a fight. That might cost Dricus in this fight, but I don't think Dricus is going to get finished in the first. I think Dricus is going to be very, very aggressive in the first. Especially when he gets moments on the feet attacking the body, in the clinch knees to the body. He's going to look to want to drain Khamzat's gas tank. He's going to look to work in full guard. Can he throw elbows off his back? Can he attack with guillotines or can he attack with triangles? Can he attack with submissions? Can he build up to the fence and stop Khamzat Chimaev from getting his best positions, like I mentioned before in the video? What I think Dricus Du Plessis is going to look to do in this fight. MMA Guru once made a really good point with Mighty Mouse. He said, can Dricus Du Plessis be taken down and accept, yeah, I am going to get taken down, but where can I land when that happens? That's what Dricus Du Plessis will probably look to do in this fight. Ride on Khamzat Chimaev's momentum. Work in positions off his back. Yeah, he is going to be off his back. Work in positions that favour him, where he's more comfortable than Khamzat Chimaev. But man, Khamzat Chimaev's elite on the ground. He is better than Dricus Du Plessis. I would say he's a good level or two above Dricus Du Plessis on the ground still. Maybe even 5 levels above. He's so good on the ground. And the theory that Dricus Du Plessis wins, for me, is built solely off Khamzat Chimaev fading. Otherwise, I think Khamzat Chimaev becomes the guy we all know he could be. Khamzat Chimaev winning a world title, for me, from when he first signed, from when he first fought twice in the space of 2 weeks, I always knew in my head, right, I always believed he was going to be a world champion. Despite the health scares, despite everything that's happened to him, I never once thought this guy won't reach the heights he's supposed to. I had some doubts after the Kamaru Usman fight, because it just felt like it was all falling apart for him. I had some doubts when COVID hit him so hard that, you know, did it almost kill him? Was it COVID? I can't remember. But he's had really bad health scares. But now they're gone. Now he's switched camps. Now he's focusing on strength and recovery. He said himself he's not overtraining anymore. I have a theory, and it is just a theory, and it could be a terrible theory. But I think when that second round bells, Dricus Du Plessis is going to be looking at a fresh Khamzat Chimaev, calm Khamzat Chimaev, a composed Khamzat Chimaev. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to win this fight. And I think he's going to submit Dricus Du Plessis in and around the third round. And I think after this fight, people are going to be looking at what could potentially be an unstoppable force in the middleweight division. Because beating Dricus Du Plessis is no easy feat. If he beats Khamzat, one of the greatest middleweights of all time, no, might be the greatest middleweight of all time. Insane winning streak. Dricus Du Plessis smashes specialists. He picks apart specialists like they're nothing. He did it with strikers. What's to say he can't do it with a specialist grappler? Well, conditioning. Keyword, conditioning, demeanour. Watch out for Khamzat Chimaev, because I think he's going to be a very, very different fighter to what a lot of people think he is going to be against Dricus Du Plessis. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.